We've all been told that love is a mystery, right? Some kind of cosmic magic that just happens. But what if it's not? What if falling in love is actually a predictable psychological process? Today, we're going to break down a source that says love isn't magic at all. It's a method, a strategic blueprint with 6 very specific targets. Okay, let's get into it.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Can you actually engineer love? The framework we're exploring today says, yeah, you can. It looks at romance not as some uncontrollable emotion, but as a series of psychological phases that you can understand, navigate, and even influence. It's really about aiming your arrow at the right targets. And here's the blueprint. These are the 6 psychological targets we have to hit, and they have to be in order. We're going to start with that make-or-break first impression, then move into compatibility, and then we'll get into the controversial idea of a relationship marketplace. After that, it's all about the ego, navigating those classic gender differences, and finally, getting a handle on the erotic mind. This is our roadmap.
First up, love at first sight, or, as the source calls it, the primal go, no-go decision. And you can forget about having a witty opening line for a minute. The game is basically won or lost in the first few moments, way before a single word is even spoken.
You know, the source uses a pretty great analogy for this. Think about 2 cats meeting. One can be like a purring kitten, giving a welcoming nudge. That's a clear go signal for a romantic takeoff. Or it can hiss and bristle, a definite no-go signal, to abort the mission right there. We do the exact same thing, just with more subtle body language. It's this instant, subconscious check. Are you safe and open, or are you some kind of threat?
And look, these signals aren't just some vague vibe. The source points to really specific, tangible stuff. Are your eyes widening with interest, or narrowing with suspicion? Are your hands showing open palms, kind of like a subconscious I submit gesture? Or are they closed off, flashing your knuckles? But here's the crucial part. While these reactions feel totally involuntary, the source argues they can absolutely be controlled to send the right message from the jump.
Okay, let's move on to the second target and see how this all builds. So, assuming you've passed that initial go/no-go test, you get to phase 2, the balance of being similar, but also different. This is where deeper compatibility really gets put to the test.
So here's the thing. We are fundamentally drawn to people who are like us. Someone with similar values, similar beliefs. It validates the choices we've made in our own lives. It feels good. It feels safe. But, and this is the twist, we get bored with a perfect clone. We also need someone who fills in our gaps. So if you're kind of a creative mess, you might be drawn to an organized planner. It's all about finding that perfect sweet spot between validation and enhancement.
All right, now we get to what is probably the most provocative part of this entire framework. Target number 3, the WIFM principle. This is where our source gets brutally honest and frames the early stages of love as a kind of unspoken, hidden marketplace.
This quote pretty much says it all. It's jarring, right? But the argument here is that before that deep, selfless love kicks in, there's this subconscious, almost crass calculation happening. People are assessing your value, your prestige, your power, your intelligence, your looks.
So what exactly is the WIFM principle? Well, it stands for what's in it for me. It's the idea that on a subconscious level, we're all running a little cost-benefit analysis. We're asking, okay, what does this person bring to the table, and what are they going to require from me? According to this source, if you want someone to fall for you, you have to convince them they're getting a really good deal.
And that internal scorecard, it breaks down into 3 key questions. People are subconsciously checking your comparable worth, basically asking, is this the best offer I can get on the market right now? They're weighing the cost-benefit ratio. Is the effort of being with you actually worth the reward? And they're even thinking about the maintenance fee, the ongoing emotional and practical cost of the relationship. Yeah, it's cold, it's calculating, but the source says that's just how we're wired.
All right, moving on from the marketplace and into the mind. Target number 4 is all about the ego. This is the psychological core of attraction. See, it's not just about them liking you, it's about making them like themselves more whenever they're with you. And here's the core idea, which is huge. People don't actually fall in love with you. They fall in love with who they become in your presence. So if you can make someone feel like the smartest, funniest, most attractive version of themselves, their ideal self, they're going to associate that incredible feeling with you. Your job is to be the mirror that reflects their best self right back at them.
Next up, a classic hurdle. Target 5 tackles the communication gap. And the source is super clear on this.
Men and women are, neurologically speaking, wired to communicate in dramatically different ways. Understanding this is absolutely critical for navigating those early dates.
And the source really doesn't pull any punches describing this disconnect. Neuroscientists can literally point to different clumps of neurons that lead to these common frustrations. Women often see men as insensitive clods because they miss the emotional subtleties. Men, on the other hand, can find women's communication style exasperating or maddening. The huge mistake we all make is trying to court others the way we want to be courted, instead of just learning to speak their language.
And that brings us to our final target, the erotic mind. This is all about understanding that true, lasting sexual attraction isn't just about flipping the right physical switches. It's about mastering the psychology of desire.
So many guides out there focus on the purely mechanical stuff, the buttons and switches. But that only creates a temporary turn-on. The erotic mind approach, on the other hand, focuses on the brain, which the source calls the single most powerful erotic organ. It's about tapping into mind power, fantasy, and desire to create what's described as a lifelong erotic aura, not just a momentary spark.
And this final quote is about as provocative as it gets. Brain fellatio. What on earth does that mean? It means the ultimate turn-on is understanding someone on a deep, deep psychological level, getting their unique dreams, their secret fantasies, their deepest longings, and then creating an erotic world that is built specifically for them. It's about making love to their mind, not just their body.
So we come all the way back to our original question. After breaking down this 6-target blueprint, from first impressions and market value to ego stroking and erotic psychology, what do you think? Is love a complete mystery that we just have to wait around and hope for? Or is it a method that can actually be learned, practiced, and maybe even mastered? This framework certainly suggests it's the latter.